I'm white, bisexual, 34, making less than $50,000 a year. Much, much, much less. I'm a daughter of a rock star. That has marked me for life. I suffer from penis envy and probably electrocomplex. I'm replicating my father's patterns, always looking for ecstasy and the feeling of grandeur. I was raised in Slovenia, where I always stood out. I'm a black sheep. My role models growing up were Madonna, Pippi Longstocking, Marilyn Monroe, and my mom.
My name is Yiqing Zhao. I'm 26 years old, heterosexual female, born and raised in China, and I live from paycheck to paycheck. I used to have anxiety attacks, and now as they're gone, I become chronically late. Usually 5-10 minutes. Okay, sometimes 15. I see things in a critical way, which sometimes makes me come off as an asshole, but I'm not. Growing up, my role models were Mulan, Hui Yinlin, who was the first female architect in China, Audrey Hepburn, and sometimes my mom.
I'm Gina Simone Pemberton, and I was born in Nevis, West Indies, and raised in New York. I am a 36-year-old black female who's currently questioning her sexuality. I was born to a preacher's kid and a performer who's allergic to staying in one place for too long. I am allergic to everything under the sun, so I basically live off of cardboard boxes and dryland. I'm a socially awkward empath who usually goes out of her way to make sure everyone's happy. Some may say I'm a people pleaser. Please don't judge me. Growing up, my role models were Whitney Houston, The Little Mermaid, and my mom.
I'm Megan, white, heterosexual, born in this country, and this past year, I turned 65, which means I qualified for my half-fare Metro card. Between my husband and myself, we're in the 90th percentile income-wise, which means we're the working rich. I like to think I'm a good person, but that's not really true. I'm judgmental. So inside, I'm comparing myself to those around me. I'm comparing my husband to other husbands. I'm comparing my children to other children because I want to be the best. I want to have the best husband and the best children. And when I catch myself making those comparisons, I judge myself harshly. Growing up, my role models were Peter Pan, Joan Baez, Meryl Streep, and in certain respects, my mom.
And we're here with the Female Role Model Project. The Female Role Model Project is a scientifically enhanced multimedia device theater piece created by an ensemble of female-identifying artists mixed with neuroscience. We wanted to see how the role models that we choose throughout our life influence us in becoming who we are and what's the underlying neurobiology that makes these processes happen. This is how tonight is going to work. We'll be wearing portable EEG headsets that pick up on different frequency bands that our brains emit. They will be influencing, one, sound design. Our amazing sound designer, Justin, created an algorithm that's transforming brain waves into a sound design. Justin? Later on, you can become the DJ of our brains. Two, it'll be influencing our video design. Our amazing video designer, John, created a video matrix that can be manipulated by our, and later on, your thoughts. Alex? This is Gina's brain. If you're ever wondering whose brain you're watching, there's a name tag right on the top. And then three, we're gonna have two scenes that are called brain explorations. In it, an actor pairs with an audience member. Both of them are wearing headsets, and then the actor shares a story about her mom, and then the audience member is invited to reciprocate and tell a story about their mother. Cherry on top is our neuroscientist on stage, Phoebe Chen, interpreting the brain activity in real time. I know that you're all here for that. But we only have 2 slots available per show. So let me see my hands for eager volunteers. If she wants to. Yes, yes. Are you the golden ticket? Are you Allie?
Yes.
I'm gonna save you for later, okay? Perfect, but you were eager, and who else was eager? Somebody back there? Okay, perfect. Ladies, if you can actually move down here. Ladies, I'm gonna just like move you 1 chair over. This is for our volunteers. And you ladies just like sit right over here. Steven will grab you when the time is right. Cool? Amazing. Moving on. We've been working on the female role model project for months. For years at this point. But we didn't get very far because we stumbled upon a very basic question, which is, what's female? I mean, what does female even mean? And I don't mean people. People are complicated. I mean simple things like bed, warm cup of tea, stilettos, compost. In Slovenian, the language itself gives you guidelines to abide by. Every word has a gender. Let's say prstan, rain, masculine.
In French, for example, the sun, le soleil, masculine. The table, la table, feminine.
Are you French?
No, I just know a few words, that's all.
But in the States, we're all confused. Let's fix that.
So to do that, we actually need your help, so we need everybody on stage. Come on down. Come on down, fill in. Okay, great. So, we are gonna play a game. And it's a pretty simple game, all right? I'm gonna start by calling out a word. If you think that the word is feminine, you're gonna go to that side of the room. If you think the word is masculine, you're gonna go to that side of the room. Got it? All right. Our first word is flower. Flower. If you think it's feminine, over here. If you think it's masculine, you're on that side. And there is no middle ground for the purposes of this game. Well, I would say flower should be on the feminine side. Yep, there it is. All right, let's have another word. How about money? Money, 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 money. If you think it's masculine, over here. No middle ground. For you guys on the feminine side, you gotta choose. Yeah. Well, money is masculine, right? Tonight is definitely masculine, right? Give me a word.
Dog.
Dog. Dog. If you think dog is masculine, you're over here. If you think it's feminine, you're over there. Dog. Well, dog is masculine. All right, so what about cat? Cat. Cat is feminine. well, just because I happen to be here. But what do we do? Sun is masculine.
The blue wave wins.
The blue wave wins. All right, I got another one. How about confusion? Confusion. If you think it's feminine, over here. If you think it's masculine, over there.
I think my mother-in-law, so she's over there.
Well, it's all right, so that's a good reason. He's thinking of his mother-in-law. All right. I mean, why I'm here, it's because it's classically female, right? I mean, stereotypically, it's classically female. I convince you, you're allowed to change your mind. I see you nodding. You know, I mean, like the Dipsy Doodle female, right? I love Lucy, right?
But that was like back in I Love Lucy days. We're no longer back in I Love Lucy days. We're in 2018, and things are changing.
Yes.
Women are not dingbats.
We're leading the revolution and shaking out the patriarchy, and I think that men right now are facing a lot of challenges of what it means to be a man. So I think they're confused way more than women.
I agree, but although we're leading this revolution, we're not there yet. We still face a lot of traditional expectations. Like women should take care of children, women should do the laundry. How about that?
Again, not anymore. We have stay-at-home dads. I mean, it's not like that
We're looking at the
anymore.
majority, though.
Stereotype? What do you guys think? Any arguments why you guys are on this side?
Redefine the female stereotype.
No. Just like, why do you think that confusion is masculine?
Well, I mean, I'll give you a reason why I think you should be over here.
I think that men were the first, like in history, men were the first ones that their brains were studied first. So maybe that's why confusion is related with men. But now,
Yes.
women are rising up,
Yes.
but they had, like, you know,
Right,
it's a
right.
slow climb.
Right, it's a slow climb, but also that
Because we
means
were
that
kept down.
men's
We were kept down.
role is kind of challenged, and then they're maybe on a decline, and that's why they're like, hold on a second, you know, the one steady ground is shaking, where I'm standing
I
at.
think it's very confusing right now, today, to be a woman. I mean, what message are we giving to young women, right? Because on the one hand, we're saying, be strong, you can be anything you want. And then, whenever a woman steps up, like to run for president or to testify against a Supreme Court justice, she is shot down, she is mocked by the President of the United States, right? She said, you don't know what you're talking about, right?
I
Am
mean, the
confusing
fact that we have
you?
so many women in Congress now shows that that's not a thing anymore.
I
Like,
don't know.
women are being told that they can do it, and women are stepping up and taking that challenge.
I need support here, what?
Well, I think both men and women can be confused, but confusion itself feels more kind of flowing between not knowing what's going on. And I associate flowing with female, so that's what I'm.
Also, you know, kind of in line with that, confusion can be a good thing, right? To admit we're confused because it's a way that we can change.
Because we're flexible.
We're flexible.
That's
Creative.
nice, men are.
Very creative.
Very creative, right? Very creative.
Decisive.
Yeah. So come. Oh, well. Yeah, this is still about, we better count.
All right, okay.
14.
16.
Start piping in.
Oh, so did you get that? Confusion is masculine. All right. Give me a word. Chalk.
Yes.
Chalk.
What color? Just chalk? White chalk?
All right, well, so chalk is masculine. But what color do you want the chalk to be?
I was curious what color, so I can read the rainbows.
Rainbow, yes.
Rainbow. How about rainbow? If it's feminine, you're over here. If it's masculine, you're over there.
I know. This is part of the game.
Rainbow is feminine. How about infidelity? Infidelity. If it's masculine, you're over there. No, there's no middle ground. Not right now.
Guys, in all the myths, in all the folklore, infidelity as the word is always embodied by a woman, by a temptress, by a luring siren.
Yeah, but who wrote those stories, right? Men
That's
wrote
based
those.
on oral transmission.
No, men wrote those stories to put the blame on somebody else, right? On the women, right? Do you agree? Yeah, right, exactly. So infidelity belongs on the masculine side.
Okay, how about in certain cultures, when a woman is accused of infidelity, nothing happens to a man, and a woman is shunned, stoned to death. It just seems like there's a little bit more consequences for women. Women are either the temptresses or the perpetrators, or on the other side, they're the victims. And also, woman is in charge. A man can try all day and all night long, and it's always upon a woman to say a yay or a nay. That's it.
What about the Me Too movement?
No, we're talking about
You
consensual.
really think it's an equal playing field, right? I mean, who's got the power?
Women.
Graduators, usually married men cheating with younger unmarried women. So on the men's side, they're married, it's infidelity. On the women's side, they're not married, it's not infidelity at all.
But if that woman wasn't around to be unfaithful, they could cheat.
Exactly. Takes two to tango. And all the good
But the
literature.
women didn't write the law. Right.
What?
The women didn't write the law. The men wrote the law, right?
Come on. This applies only in certain cases.
Oh, all right. Well, I think this is about even, but I think we're gonna take this to the next level.
Okay.
All right. All right. So we need, we're gonna fix masculine gesture. What's a gesture? Okay?
We're talking about social gestures. Like this? Great. Okay, this is how gestures sound. What's the sound?
Okay, this is what we do.
Silence. No, let's tell yourself.
What's Trump saying?
On your mark, get set, go!
I think we won.
One, two, three, four.
They won.
15.
We're even.
We gotta convince
Anybody in doubt? Guys,
Anybody in doubt?
Anybody in doubt?
Okay, you two, you can vote. What? All right, well, so infidelity. They have to masculine or feminine. What else can we tell them?
Let's go down.
Infidelity goes on the feminine side. So, can you read the masculine words out loud for me? Would you do that?
Money, dog, son,
Flower, cat, moon, rainbow, infidelity.
Okay, I guess we cleared it up. I guess now we know what female means.
Right, so you can all go home now. That was the show. Not really. Thank you. Go and have some coffee.
Hanggang keras na panagsa ng botusok ko, lokal na sibon.
So this may seem just like a fun silly game, but language has power, and research by Levermorodinsky and others have shown that a word's grammatical gender. So whether it's masculine or feminine in languages like German, French, Italian, and so on, actually affects how we think about concepts. For example, the word key is masculine in German and feminine in Spanish. While a German speaker think of a key as heavy, metal, and jagged, a Spanish speaker think of a key as beautiful, intricate, and tiny. The opposite occurs with words like bridge, which is feminine in German and masculine in Spanish. So a bridge might be beautiful, elegant, and fragile to a German speaker, and at the same time sturdy and towering to a Spanish speaker. This is called the superior warp hypothesis, or linguistic relativity, which means aspects of a culture, hence language, affects how we think about concepts, make decisions, and even behave. So the words we use have power even with something as seemingly random as grammatical gender.
A girl shouldn't wear pants all the time. Uncle Jimmy.
Girls should be neat and clean, Mama.
Girls shouldn't compete with boys, John.
Girls love to do laundry.
Time.
Freeze! Hi, I am Mulan. I'm going to be a superhero and fight for my country. Now freeze.
Freeze! I'm Peter Pan. Want to see me fly? Long stocking. I never want to grow up. Never. Unfreeze.
Freeze! Hi, I'm Ariel. When I grow up, I'm going to trade in my tail for legs, and every step that I take is going to hurt like hell. I'm also going to give up my voice because a girl really doesn't need to speak. And if my prince rejects me, I'm going to dissolve into sea foam and die. I'm Freeze.
Girls shouldn't raise your voices. Dad.
Girls should never birth, Dad. Girls should have big boobs, Barbarella. Freeze! I'm Pippi Longstocking. I grew up on a pirate ship, and my dad is a pirate captain. Now, I live in a big house all by myself, with my monkey, and with my horse, and with my suitcase full of golden coins. I'm Freeze!
Girls cook, men eat, my aunt.
Girls should be like princesses, Mom.
Girls love to clean toilets. Mr. Clean.
Freeze! My family used to ask me, Mulan, where's your pee-pee? And I looked down and said, uh-oh, it's gone. I thought my pee-pee flew away from my body like a bird flew away from a tree, but it would come back very soon. I'm Freeze.
Freeze! Something else you should know about me. I don't feel like a girl. Or a boy. I mean, I like some girl things. And I like some boy things. I'm Freeze!
Freeze! We live in an underwater kingdom. My hair is red and long and thick, and my mom literally breaks cold trying to comb through my hair. So one day I say to her, Mommy, when I grow up, I'm going to marry a white prince so my kids will have nice hair. Unfreeze.
Y'all shouldn't walk too fast. My dad's friend.
Freeze! I can lift my horse Alfred, and when my house gets tired of the shape, I just lift it up, I readjust it, and it gets more solid and tacky. The school principal overheard that a little girl lives all by herself in a big house. So now she's been kidnapping me every day to go to school, to learn all the useless things. Unfreeze!
Girls are dumb. I love Lucy.
Y'all should have bought pretty dresses. Serena's best captain. Freeze! One day, my cousins and I were kicking and jumping and playing, and we all got very sweaty, and we decided to take a shower together. There was a boy and a girl, and I took off my clothes. The boy looked at me and said, "Look, she has boobs!" And as I looked down at my boobs, I also saw his pee-pee. And I realized that his pee-pee was actually a part of his body, of his flesh. And it sticks with you if you're a boy. That was when I realized I was a woman. I'll freeze.
Girls only play with soft bears, Uncle Marco.
Freeze!
When I was 11, I went on vacation with my family to Paris, and I was alone in the hotel room with my dad when I noticed a brown stain on my underwear. I said, "Dad, I think I have diarrhea." And he said,
Wait till your mother comes back.
when my mother came back, she told me it wasn't diarrhea, it was blood. And it was going to happen every month for years and years because I was a woman. I'm
Freeze! My daddy dies. So we have to leave our underwater kingdom and move to New York, where I realize people don't look or speak like me. My mom is now a full-time living nanny for a white family. They consider me part of the family, but I can't live with them. I have to live with my Aunt Ursula, who's a witch. Aunt Ursula can't comb my hair. Well, neither can I. So my mommy takes me to the hair salon to get it relaxed. It's now easier to comb through and it blows in the wind. I love it! Until the chemicals eat it away. So here I am stuck living with my Aunt Ursula, and my mom is practically living with another family, so I have to take care of myself. And in about a week or so, I become a grown-up. I'm a woman now. Unfreeze.
Freeze! Last week, I joined Youth Mountaineers. Today, we climbed this mountain, we set tents, and now we're at a bonfire singing and playing guitar. I finally feel like my life has started. Our elder, a 50 or 60-year-old man, or just old, with big green mustache, comes and sits down next to me. He puts his arm around me and he rocks me. I giggle. And then he starts massaging my breast. Oh wait, does he kiss me too? I forget. Nobody told me anything about this. I have no idea what it means. I'm prepared. I've seen it on TV, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say something or do something. I really have no idea what to do. So I do nothing. I just smile.
In this scene, you witness teaching and an audience member share experiences about their mothers while wearing the epoch accents. These devices pick up electrical activity on the surface of the skull. The images reflect the coordinated activity of large groups of neurons according to their oscillations. The four main brain waves displayed in different colors according to their frequency. In order of increasing activity, we have the blue theta waves with least activity, followed by purple alpha waves, and then pink beta waves, which is our brain show most of the time, and then deep orange gamma waves corresponding to intense mental processes. And downstage you see auditory brain, and upstage is Iching's brain.
My name is Iching. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Nice to meet you, Stephanie. I'm going to tell you a story about my mom. Before I do that, let's count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I was 15, I bought my first off-the-shoulder dress and I put it on before going out with my parents. My dad saw it and said it was inappropriate and asked me to change. My mom backed me up. She said, "She is at the right age to show off her body. Do you want her to wait till my age to put it on?" Wow, badass mom. Although my dad had made it very clear that I was not allowed to have any piercings, my mom took me to get my earlobes pierced and she bought me silver ear studs. She doesn't have any piercings herself, but she still buys pretty earrings for me whenever she sees them. My mom and I are 7,600 miles away from each other, but she would still ask me to send my selfies in new clothes for her to comment. She loves to hear me sing, and because we have this 12-hour time difference, oftentimes she has to sneak into the bathroom or the living room to listen to my recordings in order not to wake up my dad. I still remember what she said to me when I had my first period. She said, "See, this is why I wanted boy. Being a woman is just so hard and painful." Would you please share a story about your mom?
Thank you for sharing. I'm adopted, and so I thought about a story from my mother and my biological mother who I met when I was 20. So I'll share the story about meeting my biological mother when I was 20. I was playing volleyball in college, and we had met through an intermediary system, pre-internet, and we had agreed to meet at the hotel where my team was playing in Pittsburgh. And so when our bus pulled in at about 2 a.m., I knew I was going to be meeting them in the lobby, my biological mother and my 2 half-sisters, at 8 a.m. So I knew they were in the hotel. And something people don't tell you about being adopted is you kind of just don't know your story. You know, you take it for granted how you came to be, and when you're adopted, you don't have that luxury. And so to be pulling into the hotel where I knew she and my 2 half-sisters were there was a pretty cool experience. And again, this was 25 years ago, so pre-internet, everything, and you had to call to get a wake-up call at the hotel, and that didn't happen. And so I woke up at 9 a.m., and we were supposed to meet at 8 a.m., and so I frantically went to find my coach because my whole team knew this was happening, and my coach said, "Go take a shower, I'll go down." She went down to the lobby, and I got ready, and then I went down, and the elevators opened, and I saw my biological mother and my 2 half-sisters for the first time. And it was very not Oprah-esque. It was very, just very formal and kind of an interesting introduction. My heart goes out to her because she was probably early, and every time the elevator opened, I was thinking, you know, this was going to be it for an entire hour. So we got through that though.
Thanks for sharing.
Throughout Iching's story, when she referred to herself, we saw mostly periods of blue theta and pink beta, especially in the medial part of the prefrontal cortex, an area involved in conceptualizing self-identity. When she said badass mom, we saw a burst of gamma activity in the right hemisphere, and the right hemisphere is particularly involved in generating formulaic expressions like that. Other examples would be goddess and kick-ass. When she talked about her period pain, we saw a lot of gamma in the frontal and temporal areas. This is probably due to activation of deep structures that are involving the emotional perception rather than sensory perception of pain. When the audience member was listening, we saw periods of blue theta and purple alpha, especially in the frontal areas, meaning she was paying attention and in a generally attentive state. Near the end, when Yiqing's mom was about to say something, we saw a burst of theta activity in the right hemisphere. That's probably related to the process of being surprised or expectation. When she was talking about her own meeting with her biological mom, mostly there were flashes of activity in frontal and parietal areas. And especially we saw when she mentioned mom or sister, the activation of the temporal parietal junction in the left hemisphere that's related to the representation of family words. And near the end, when she was having a more uplifting attitude, we saw a lot more activity than before. Thank you for your attention.
Welcome to the teenage years, the wonderful age when a girl blossoms into a woman, bursting hormones, spring awakening, shyness of the first kiss, the innocence of sweet 16, getting ready for the first milestone of a woman's life, becoming prom queen. Or not. Who can let go the most unforgettable moment of going on a first date?
And getting pregnant by mistake.
Your best friend stealing your boyfriend. Never even having a boyfriend.
Not fitting in with the in crowd.
Never even leaving your room.
Not getting into college.
Never even going anywhere.
Over-exercising.
Having an eating disorder.
And suicide attempts. But we all had one thing in common. We were all obsessed with our bodies. And what better way to honor this obsession than a beauty competition? Now, we're looking for a special volunteer to become our beauty competition judge. It's a hard task. Responsibility is huge. Our expectation beyond reasonable. We want you to be judgmental. It's a hard job, and yes, it might even be embarrassing, and on top of that, we're gonna put a headset on your head to get a peek inside your brain while you make these difficult decisions. It's no job for a delicate flower. We need a hero. We got a hero. We have somebody who's gonna take one for the team. Thanks for joining us. Please have a seat. Phenomenal. Steven will now put a headset on your head, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, the headset is connected to an app that's gonna give us readings of the fluctuation levels of stress and attention dimensions. Phoebe, can you already give us a read?
Stress level 70%.
Oh yeah, from here on. Perfect. And now my golden ticket, phenomenal. It's not a difficult job at all. You don't have to do anything. Just relax and let your brain do all the work. This phenomenal individual, Allie, is Allie your name?
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll be manipulating the video matrix throughout the scene. It's gonna be small and contained at first, but it's gonna spread out as we go.
Sorry, easy job.
Okay, so you're not judging us.
Okay.
We're just talking about your personal preferences.
Okay.
You're gonna do great.
Great.
And if it's too embarrassing, you can lie. I mean, nobody will know.
It's gonna be
My
fun.
son, it's my son-in-law.
Get this.
Excitement 70%.
Louder, Phoebe. What was that?
Excitement 70%.
Let the contest begin. Dear Internet, please give us the stats that identify the most important category in determining whether a woman is beautiful. Boobs.
Ta-ta.
Boobies. Tits. A shocker. Do you think it's more beautiful if a woman has Big boobs or small boobs?
Stress 100%.
What is it?
I guess big boobs.
Big boobs. Big boobs. Okay, great. Yeah. And the winner for the most beautiful boobs is Gina.
I never paid much attention to my boobs growing up because I was fat. Then I lost weight and now they sag, and yeah, that's that. My role model at the time was Whitney Houston. Thank you.
I don't have boobs, I only have areolas.
My boobs are too small.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been happy with my boobs either. I mean, I'm constantly looking around me, on the subway, on the street, and everybody has bigger boobs than me. As a teenager, I decided to cover up, like my role model, Joan Baez. Now, I mean, I'm a breast cancer survivor. I only needed a lumpectomy, so I didn't have to decide whether to have reconstruction. My mother had breast cancer. She had a mastectomy. She decided to go flat. My grandmother had breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy. This was 1958, and breast reconstruction wasn't readily available then. She decided to kill herself.
Great. What's next? Legs.
Thunder thighs.
Tree trunks.
Twists.
Attention 90%.
What kind of gams do you like, Your Honor? Miles long, skinny, spaghetti legs, or juicy thunder thighs, the legs you can get lost in?
Confidence. Actually, that's a key, right?
Confident legs.
The way you walk, the way you strut.
Yes, yes, but we kind of like, we have a scale here of skinny to juicy. Skinny. Skinny. And the winner of the most beautiful legs is Ichi.
Thank you. I used to think I had a petite upper body and big chunky thighs. I used to wear skirts and dresses all the time to make my tiny waist pop and cover up my big thighs. Otherwise, I wouldn't even leave the house. I worked with a lot of photographers as their model, and they would do anything to show off my face, my neck, my collarbones, my shoulders, and my waist, but my legs were never in the pictures. Some of them even asked me, is there anything you can do about your thighs? Once I was in a restaurant with my parents, and a few waitresses passed by me. My mom heard them talking about me. Look, she has such weird proportions. Her waist is so tiny and her thighs so big. My role model was Hui Yinling, the first female architect in China. Please, preserve the buildings. No, you don't understand. Once you take them down, you will never be able to reconstruct them. All right. If you're going to take down the 3 gates, I will hang myself right there on the gate, and you will have to step over my dead body to do it. Hui Yin had the thinnest legs in the world, but she never seemed to care.
Great. What's next? Beach body.
The excitement 90%.
Do you think it's more beautiful for a woman to be curvy, voluptuous,
Chubby.
pleasingly plump, fat, or skinny?
What was the choice again?
Fat or skinny?
Fat.
Fat. How are we gonna do this? I mean, Are we talking about proportions here, or weight, or dress size, or?
Well, let's strip down to bikinis.
Yeah.
No. And I mean, anyway, none of us are what society would call fat anyway.
Yeah, but that would be fat shaming and not being body positive, so we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah,
Stress
the
100%.
easiest way would be to strip down to bikini.
No! I mean, also, I don't want to look anybody in the eye and negotiate, you know? Sorry, Megan, I'm skinnier than you.
Really, Tiasha? You think you're skinnier than me? No way. See this? This.
Attention 30%.
And the winner for the most beautiful beach body is Gina.
Thank you. When I was 9, we left Nevis and moved to New York, where I lived with my aunt. Remember Ursula? She would call me stupid. I ate a sandwich. She would call me useless. I ate a bag of chips. She called me an ungrateful bitch. I ate a cake. I got fat. She called me a fat bitch. I developed an eating disorder. It worked. Thank you. What's next?
Height. Do you like tall ladies, little model-esque looming over you, or short, adorable ones that can bite you in your chest?
Short.
Short. And the winner for the most beautiful height is Megan.
I like being short. It's my secret weapon. It means I can surprise people with my voice and my glare and my convictions. One of my role models is Maude from Harold and Maude, the movie, and she's 5 foot tall like me. Growing up in high school, I was an awesome softball pitcher. One day, during a game in gym class, I was throwing strikeouts, and the other team of girls was heckling me. And one particularly large, loud, obnoxious girl yelled out, "You're a loser, you stupid shrimpy Jew." So I stopped my wind-up, and I turned towards her calmly and said, "I'm not Jewish." She was stunned into silence. Later on, I told my mom what had happened, and she asked me why I hadn't said, "I'm not stupid." And I said, "Well, that's a matter of opinion." She didn't question my Jewish denial. Neither my mom nor I identified ourselves as Jewish, even though, according to religious law, we are. And in Hitler's Germany, we would have wound up in a concentration camp, like Maude. Being short has never stopped me. Being Jewish might.
Great. What's next? Skin. Ooh, pale or dark?
Attention 90%.
What do you think is more beautiful, pale or dark?
Walk darker
adore my caramel complexion. I wouldn't want it to get any lighter, and I hibernate in the summer so it doesn't get any darker. I was very partial to my mom's fair complexion. She was so fair that at times she would be mistaken for a white woman. Actually, a black woman on the train once, thinking she was a white woman, told her, "I'm gonna put my foot up your ass for what your people did to my people." My mom was my role model.
Great, let's do a recap.
Wait. I think we need to address the elephant in the room. I mean, it's not just how we feel about our skin color. I mean, society judges people based on their skin color.
Yeah, for some of us of a certain skin color, all we need to do is sneeze too hard to get arrested or shot.
In China, we have a saying that goes, "A fair complexion covers up 100 flaws." And in my family, they call me Black Rose, and my fair-skinned cousin, White Rose.
Wow, yes, I know I'm pale and blonde and blue-eyed. I'm white, but I'm an immigrant.
Well, I'm white, so I'm okay, unless you consider my Jewish ancestry. But right now, in America today, I can choose how I identify, and you know that's not an option for everybody.
Let's do a recap. You seem to like short girls, skinny, with skinny legs, big boobs, who are dark. That's a winning combo. Thanks for playing. Good job. Now you can just go back and relax. Yes, Stephen will take it. Right.
Wait. What about other categories?
Yeah, like eyes.
I know, or smile.
Hair?
I know.
Is there a miscongeniality?
Personality?
I mean,
Talent?
so much more.
I know. This is ridiculous. It is.
Hi, I'm Tiasha. What's your name?
Evelyn.
Evelyn. Nice to meet you. Would you count with me from 10 to 1 backwards? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll tell you a story about my mom. I was 6. My best friend's name was Alyosha. She smelled of something wonderful and mysterious. She had a big mark of a dog bite on her left eye. She just transferred kindergartens, and she was all mine. Being with her was like winning a lottery in ecstasy. At 11, Alyosha was terribly skinny, had a boy cut. She was usually moody and unsatisfied until I made her laugh, hysterically. At 13, she had a crush on Hansel, from Hansel and Gretel, twins that went to our school. She would come over to my house sometimes while my parents were at home, and would let the blinds down, put on some Billy Idol, and then I would have to perform striptease for her until it was to her liking, and then we would dry hump and lick neck, me pretending I was Hansel, but we would never kiss. Not with a girl. At 16, I'm looking in the mirror. Mom, I think I'm a lesbian. Mom, why are you laughing? Tiashi, I really find that hard to believe. You never paid attention to women. You still don't pay attention to women. Even as a baby, you were only interested in men. Do you remember when Sonia and Ivan used to come visit? And Sonia would do anything with her long red nails to grab your attention, but your eyes were only for Ivan. I mean, I find it hard to believe. Wow, Mom. Okay, yeah. I guess you're right. At 34, a few weeks ago, I randomly worked at a conference. Lesbians for Tech. Nothing is random. The movie rolled back, and I realized that maybe the fact that I considered Alyoshka my first relationship wasn't that random. She smelled of cat shampoo because they raised incompetent show cats. At 3, a dog attacked her and left imprints on her for life. At 16, her parents got divorced, and then she divorced me. She left her imprints on me for life. Would you tell us a story about your mom?
This is very interesting. Okay. When I was little, I was left in Peru, where I reside, and I hadn't seen my mom in 2 years. So when I was coming to the United States, I remember getting from the airport by myself with my sister, who was 16 at the time. I was like around 9, and I was just remembering being very anxious and happy, and I was just like remembering a little bit of her face, but kind of forgot, and I didn't. But as soon as I like rolled up to my home, and she came and hugged me and cried, and I remember like her smile and everything, and I felt back at home.
Thank you so much for sharing.
For Tiago's story, we saw this progression from a lot of gamma activity, especially in the left hemisphere, to more blue theta activity in the right hemisphere towards the end of the story. That's reflecting her increasing frustration and maybe self-reflection. And in the very end, we saw a burst of gamma in the frontal area that's probably related to suppression of emotion or re-encoding of memory. When she left, when her mom left and found the lesbian question funny, we saw a burst of gamma in the right hemisphere. And certain areas of the right hemisphere is involved in the comprehension and production of humor. Interestingly, in the audience member's brain around the same time, we also saw a burst of gamma activity in the right hemisphere. And when the audience member was listening, we also saw this activation of the frontal parietal network that's related to processing time-based information. When she was telling her own story, sometimes it doesn't show activity, and that's just because the signal isn't strong enough to be detected. But we also saw this frontal parietal network that's related to time, and in addition to the blue and alpha, blue theta and then purple alpha waves that's related to attention and memory. Thank you for your attention.
Welcome to Oprah, the special game show edition, top role model of today. I brought together 3 influential women in society to discuss their views on some hard-hitting topics. Who's the most influential? That's for you to decide with your votes. There are going to be 3 rounds with a different topic in each round. Each contestant will have 1 minute to state their position. Then you will have 2 minutes to ask them anything you want. Anything. And then you vote. I mean, you have to vote. But that's not all. Throughout the game, the contestants will be wearing headsets that will transform their brainwaves into sound designs, making you the DJ of their brains. So the more cognitively and emotionally provocative the question, the more you will hear it in the ever-changing brain symphony. Before we get started, let me introduce you to our guests. First up, reality television personality, socialite, entrepreneur, the infamous,
Excuse me, and queen of social media.
and queen of social media, the infamous Kim Kardashian West. Next up, actress, model, TV producer, pop singer in China, the queen of the red carpet in China, Bing Bing Fan. And last, but certainly not least, the First Lady of the US of A, Melania Trump. Before we move on, let's get a sample of their brains, shall we, Justin? Can we take a listen as to what's going on here in Kim's brain? Bing Bing Fan. Melania Trump. Melania Trump. Thank you, Justin. Thank you. Let's make some music, shall we? And play top role model for today. First category, round one, aging. It's no surprise that women face a crapload of challenges throughout their lifetime. Take aging, for instance. As a woman ages, her possibilities seem to wither, just like her appearance. Yay! In a society obsessed with youth, it's no wonder aging is seen as the demise of productivity. Well, shit! Actually, I've been told that block don't crack, so I'm good. On the topic of aging, Bing Bing Fan, please share with us, how has aging affected your life?
Asian women age well too. Everyone knows that. 我们不老了嘛. But what you don't know is the amount of work I put behind this 冻龄的 face. Oh, I'm not talking about plastic surgery. This face is 100% natural. Do you know how many facial masks I use a year? How many? Guess.
20.
1,000. I use 3 facial masks a day, but sometimes I don't even eat 3 meals a day. You will see pictures of me with masks on in airports or grocery stores. You see, I don't take my natural beauty for granted. 我为了这张脸很努力的. Chinese people are obsessed with youth. If I don't keep this look, 我就没有戏可以演了. That would be a disaster.
Melania Trump.
For my first profession, modeling, I had to be skinny and stiff. For my second profession of the First Lady, I have to be skinny and stiff. I sleep in a coffin, like Michael Jackson. It is called cryotherapy. Minus 200 degrees oxygen bed every night to be allowed in the White House. It's in my White House contract, lady contract, First Lady contract. To the question to Sophia Loren how she maintains her beauty, she said, Allora, I don't do things normal people do. I don't make faces and I don't make sounds. Me too. For the third phase, I am afraid I would be stiff because I have been stiff all my life. And that would really mess with my plans because old age is the age of freedom. We all know Donald loves young women and replaces old vibes with fresh meat. I can already feel a new Melania lurking in my bedroom closet. After this mandate is over, Donald will divorce me. No, I'm not a prisoner. I married Donald by free will.
Kim Kardashian West.
I worry about aging every single day. I mean, will people still follow me when I'm old and gray? But recently, my mom, she's 65, she said something that made me think. I mean, can I be her? I mean, I'm not an actress, but you know, okay. So, you know, the other day, I was complaining about the deli guy not putting enough cream cheese on my bagel. And then, you know, I read about somebody who died, like at 72 or 65, and I think how stupid it is to sweat the small stuff, you know? I mean, so at Maud, she's the 79-year-old heroine of Harold and Maude. I think she said it best. Can I read her? Okay, all right. A lot of people enjoy being dead, but they're not dead, really. They're just backing away from life. Reach out. Take a chance. L-I-V-E!
Thank you! Kim Kardashian West, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dear audience, here's where you come in. This is your opportunity to ask them any questions you want. Questions for Kim Kardashian West, Bing Bing fan, or Melania Trump. Any questions. You have 2 minutes, and go. Questions. I know you've got them. Is that Kim's real butt? I want to know, but I can't ask it. Any questions? No? Oh, you got a question over there.
Melania, is she a gold digger?
Melania, are you a gold digger?
No. I was just fulfilling my idea, my vision for life, to be a princess and marry a millionaire. I am a role model to thousands of young little children around the world, confirming that this is possible. You can be a princess and marry a millionaire.
Thank you. Questions? I know you've got them. This is your oop, yes.
Kim Kardashian, do you want other women to emulate your life?
Kim Kardashian, do you want other women to emulate your life?
Yes, I do. I do. I want them to feel that they have power coming from the earth and rising through their bodies. Yes, that would be nice. Don't you think?
Thank you, Kim. Question. Kim Kardashian.
So, I have a question. Well, actually, you know, it's I have something I want to say to Bing Bing. You're not living in reality, sweetie. I mean, everyone ages, including you.
Well, maybe, possibly, likely, probably, I will age in China. I will not age here. And no matter how much I age, I still look 20 years younger than you.
Ho ho, burn! Well, that buzzer means we've come to the end of our question and answer section. Before we vote, we'll have a quick recap on each contestant's position. Kim Kardashian West on the topic of aging. Aging sucks, but it's better than the alternative. Bing Bing fan, just don't age. And Melania Trump, be old, be free, be best. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just so I remind you, you are not voting for the person. You are voting for the position. Which position do you agree with most? Kim Kardashian West.
Aging sucks.
Raise your hand
Better
again. Kim,
than
raise
the
your hand.
alternative.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14! Kim Kardashian West. Bing Bing fan.
Just don't age.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10! Bing Bing fan. And Melania Trump.
Be old, be free,
Kardashian West with 14. And Bing Bing Fan, you'll get there with 10 points. Moving on. Round 2. Sexuality. This should be good.
So, my career is based on openness and honesty. So I'm out there with my sexuality. I use it. You might even say I exploit it. I think women should own their sexuality. Just like they should own their bodies. Own it.
Bing Bing Fan.
I think a woman's sexuality is precious. 女人的性是需要感情基础的。I've only made love with people I love, and so far, that's 2. Tabloids say I've slept all my way up. 说我是一路睡上去。That's not true. When I was starting out, I was one of the hundreds of pretty girls waiting in the film studios to be picked up by directors and producers and become stars overnight. Did they sleep with producers? Of course they did. But how come I became the only star? Because I have so much more than just sexuality. And that's what sets me apart from all those girls.
Thank you. Melania.
I was a virgin before Donald. As media knows, we only had sex once to procreate, to create body.
Okay, no, Tasha here, sorry, I'm gonna vomit in my own mouth if I ever have to say this again. I am pro-nudism and body-free, stigma-free, spiritual, healthy, expressive female sexuality. I think that women naturally rule this domain. I love being a woman because of the abundance of my own sexual energy, which is the creative energy, which is rejuvenating, like a jump into a cold pool on a hot summer day. Yes, totally naked, of course. I go to nudist Croatian beaches, I go to a nudist park in Berlin. Imagine the freedom of riding bikes naked, of canoeing naked, of playing grass hockey and going to the opera and symphony naked. No, this doesn't apply right now. I wish I could say for Melania, I only have 12 lovers, 10 of my fingers, Donald, and a vibrator, but I can't. It's best if you're a virgin.
Unbelievable. Well, actually, I'm a 36-year-old virgin, so who am I to judge? I've had one boyfriend in my entire life, and all we've ever done is kiss. Growing up, my grandmother, who was a minister and my role model at the time, she always told me that she wanted me to do it the right way. Basically, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes Sheena with a baby carriage. The other members of my family never adopted to this way of thinking, but I always wanted to make my grandmother proud of me, and in doing so, my virginity became something that I held near and dear to me. And I still hold it near and dear to me, and I will continue to hold it near and dear to me until I find that one person that I would like to willingly share it with. Unbelievable! Let the questions begin. You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes for questions. I know you've got them. On the topic of sexuality, no questions. No questions? Okay, yes.
Does sex get better with age?
Does sex get better with age? Who would like to answer that one?
Who would know? I only did it once.
Bing Bing Fan?
Absolutely.
Kim Kardashian West.
I'm actually pretty private with my, with my intimate relationships, believe it or not. video was a private thing, absolutely. You know, I couldn't have anticipated the consequences of that video. I mean, the publicity from that video, together with my entrepreneurial skill, I am now worth $350 million. Think about that.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Any other questions? I know you've got them. Oh, yes.
Is sex for pleasure?
Is sex for pleasure? Let's start with you.
Absolutely no, it was for Baron.
No. Big fan.
Absolutely yes, and you will know why later.
Kim Kardashian West.
That's a yes. That's a no-brainer. Oh, but I have a question.
Of course you do. Oh, rats. Okay, we have come to the end of the question and answer section. Before we vote, let's have a recap. Sexuality. Exploit it. Kim Kardashian West.
Just own it. Don't exploit it. Just own it.
Bing Bing Fan.
Sexuality is precious.
Sexuality is precious. And Melania Trump, it's best if you're a virgin. Ladies and gentlemen, whose views do you agree with most? Kim Kardashian West.
Own it.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18, 19. 19.
33 total.
Thank you.
I studied architecture.
Thank you, Melania. 33 total. Bing Bing Fan.
Sexuality is precious.
Show of hands. 15.
25.
25 thus far. And Melania Trump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to remind them what you're...
It's best if you're a virgin.
Okay, yeah. Raise those hands, please. It's best if you're a virgin. 1, 2, 3, 4.
25.
25. Would you look at it? At the end of round 2, we have Kim Kardashian West in the lead with 33 points, followed by both Melania and Bing Bing with 25. It's anybody's game. We're going to switch things up a little and discuss the topic of motherhood. Ladies and gentlemen, this is round 3 where your votes are going to be worth 2 points, so it's still anybody's game. Motherhood. Who would like to begin? You look scared. Let's start with you.
It is my prime job to keep Baron safe and immersed in his childhood. I am trying to keep him away from all the business and all the politics. I even imported my parents into the country to help me instill in him some authenticity and warmth of a real Slovenian family. I am trying to make him an honorable man, or at least decent. Between an American tycoon, a wizard of lies, and Slovenian peasants, he might just make it. I have a confession to make. One day, Baron came from school crying. Children were bullying him. They were shouting, "Grab her by the pussy, grab her by the pussy." He didn't know what it meant. We had an emergency meeting in the White House, Donald, all White House staff and me. And we decided to normalize grab her by the pussy just to make Baron feel more comfortable in the White House. Now we use it like this. Pass the salt, honey. Grab her by the pussy. What a lovely morning. Grab her by the pussy. We even went so far that Baron, for his birthday, got a balloon that said 11. Grabbed her by the... Thank you. Big fan.
I don't want children. Oh, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're so cute, but they're very distracting for my career. I have actress friends who become mothers, and I hear them complain all the time. They lost shape after giving birth. 身材严重走形啊. They are always stressed out, and they can't balance between life and career. And when they were finally ready to return to the industry, they were past their prime and they couldn't get cast for leading roles. I would never, ever want that to happen to me. Well, actually, my mother had a very successful career as my manager. But when she got pregnant with my little brother, I had to fire her. It cost her her career. So, really, it's not worth it.
Thank you. Kim?
Well, you know, I hear women complain all the time about how difficult it is to be a mother and have a career. And I think, what's the big deal? I mean, just incorporate your children into your career like I do. I mean, I post photos and videos of my kids to social media. Those posts get millions of likes, millions. You know, in my experience, it's a struggle. I mean, let's say that your boss offers you a promotion. Do you take it, even if it means that you won't get home until after your kids are in bed? Or let's say you get a call from the school. Your kid has 102 degrees fever. Your babysitter is not available until after 3. Your husband is out of town, and you are about to make a closing argument to the jury. What are you doing? You got to decide right now, right fast. And no matter what you decide, you're going to make someone unhappy. My decision, I had kids. And I stepped down from my position as bureau chief at the Manhattan DA's office to work 3 days a week. My career never recovered. But I had more time with my kids. So it's possible to combine motherhood and career, but not without sacrifice. And it's not easy. I think it's easy. I mean, just incorporate your kids into your career.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kim Kardashian West. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is your final chance to ask those burning questions. You have 2 minutes. Any questions? I know you've got them. I'm actually going to ask a question. Kim Kardashian West. So you say incorporate your kids into your career. Let's say you have a real job, like working at McDonald's. What would you do with your kids then?
That's no problem. I mean, you just take them with you, and they can do little things. They can fill up the napkins, right? Make sure there's enough ketchup. And then as they grow up, I mean, they can start working in the kitchen, and they can make burgers and French fries even, and it'll work out great. You'll have them with you, and it'll be so much fun.
So you advocate for child labor?
Oh no, you don't pay them. You just give them a Happy Meal or something in the end.
Thank you. Thank you. Questions from our gentle audience. Any questions? I know you've got them. This is your last chance. Yes.
Melania Trump, are you happy you married Trump to have your little boy?
Are you happy you married Trump to have a little boy?
This is a very sweet question. I love Baron. Yes. Yes. Thank you for making this easy for me. And my PR department.
All right. I actually have a question for Bing Bing Fan.
Oh.
Yes. your mom when she had your little brother. But isn't it true that that's actually your kid and not your mom's?
You did your homework,
I
didn't
know.
you? You read the tabloid. Well, my little brother was born in the year of 2000.
Oh, that's the end of that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of round 3. Little recap on the topic of motherhood. Kim Kardashian West exploit them.
Incorporate them, just incorporate them.
Bing Bing fan, it's not worth it. And Melania Trump.
Motherhood is a holy duty.
Motherhood is a holy duty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your votes are now worth 2 points. Kim Kardashian West, show of hands.
Incorporate them.
1, 2, 4. 4.
37.
Thank you. 37 for Kim. Bing Bing fan.
It's not worth it.
And Melania Trump. Wow.
40, 65. Winner.
65! Ladies and gentlemen, based on your votes, you agree most with Melania Trump. 65 points. Congratulations, Melania.
Tiasha here. Scientists mostly divide into 2 groups when it comes to consciousness. One group says that the brain produces the consciousness, and the other group says that the brain only picks up on the consciousness and interprets it. I was really fascinated when I first heard about biology of belief, a theory by Bruce Lipton. Bruce Lipton is a biologist. He was studying stem cells. He tried to figure out why, when you tried to put Tiasha cells into Megan's body, Megan's cells go alarm, alarm, not self, not self. And they attack Tiasha cells and destroy them. He was trying to figure out which part of the cell exactly is the self. And he realized that it's the membrane, the antennas, the tentacles that pick up on the signal of the self. So the self is coming from somewhere else. So the self is broadcast. So consciousness is broadcast from somewhere else, and our cells only pick up on it like a TV set would. So when the cells die, does it mean that the consciousness or the signal dies as well? According to this theory, no. So my question was, dead celebrities, dead role models, are they still broadcasting into the void? And anybody who needs a role model or alternative persona or a shortcut to confidence can download them as an energetic potential or signal. My role model right now is Elizabeth Gilbert. She's well and alive, and I like her because she's promoting self-forgiveness.
Gina, my role models today are Oprah Winfrey and Maya Angelou, because these women rose above their tumultuous pasts and became powerful, badass Black women.
I'm Megan, and nowadays, my role models are my daughters.
I'm Yi Qing,
role models. Because I realized that you can never replicate other people's path. You have to create one for yourself.
You have to wear this cape when you leave the apartment. Why, Mom? So that people won't see that you're pregnant. Why is that important? Because people will make assumptions about you that aren't true. They'll think you're some dumb teenager who had to get married because she was pregnant. They'll think you dropped out of school and will never go to college. That's not who you are, is it? No, Mom, that is not who I am. I'm still in school, and I plan to apply to college and, maybe even graduate school. I'm thinking I might like to get my PhD in psychology like you. But unlike you, I intend to apply what I learned to my own life, because I hate the way you go around muttering under your breath instead of bringing things into the open. And I cannot stand how you slip in a criticism at every possible opportunity and disguise it with a smile. Okay. You need to wear the cape. That way, when you give the baby up for adoption, no one will ask questions. So I wore the cape. It didn't work so well. Our next door neighbor still asked me how the baby was doing when I came back from the hospital. But I handled it. I said, "What baby?" Anyway, I had no regrets about giving the baby up for adoption and no desire to see her. Because my mother had taught me that what matters is nurture, not nature. So I was sure I would have nothing in common with this person I had given birth to. Years later, I got a phone call from a private investigator. "Is this Mrs. Jackson?" That was my name before I got remarried. "And did you live in Englewood, New Jersey?" "Yes." "And did you have a daughter that you gave up for adoption?" "What? Who is this? Where did you get that information?" So I went to meet her at the agency that had arranged the adoption. And when I got there, there was only one person in the waiting room, and it was me. I mean, she looked just like I had at her age. Hi. Hi. Want to go upstairs? Sure. And then she picked up her backpack and she slung it over her shoulder. Just the way I do. And it turned out that she had done gymnastics as a child, just like my older daughter. And she was a filmmaker, like my younger daughter. And she's got her PhD in psychology.